See one the other day, literally the first line was, "Fuck you, fucking Matt Haycox." Hey guys, we've got a bit of fun mixed with a bit of seriousness today, and to do it with me, we've got some of the team that you don't actually normally get to see. Callum is normally behind the camera. If he's ever in front of the camera, I only ever see him dancing, but he's here today. Well, he's dancing now. We've got Izzy, who does all our graphic design, bit of our web stuff and makes everything look pretty. And Steve, who is our copywriter extraordinaire and makes some of my ramblings turn into fantastic prose. But as you know, a lot of what I've been talking about lately revolves around trolls and negativity and anxiety and mental health and all those kind of things. And a lot of the comments that you guys send me are based around how you are scared to kind of start putting out content or scared to make videos and that kind of thing because you are worried about what people say about you. And you know, a lot of my standard response is just that, you know, it's part of the territory and you've got to accept it and you've got to go with it. And I guess I sometimes probably think that you guys think that I say it because it's easy for me to say because I don't really get any negativity. And you know, I've always had negative comments written, but I guess as time's gone on, they've got more and more, they've become a bigger number of them, and a lot of them have got a lot more vicious. But I do honestly take the positive attitude now that because I'm getting so much more shit written about me, it actually means my content's getting out there, because you can't have the good stuff and you can't have the volume unless you've got the negativity as well. So what I wanted to do, I guess, just to show you guys that I do suffer this as well, and I'm not just telling you guys to kind of, you know, man up and get on with it, is I've said to the guys in the office, and I actually don't know what they're going to say, but I think they're super excited about this. They have been able to work through some of my recent videos, some blogs, some emails where people have been sending me horrible comments or writing things about me, and they have got the welcomed opportunity now. Look, Izzy can't even keep a straight face, and she's not even said anything. But they have now got the opportunity to tell me some of the most hateful or, you know, negative things that have been written about me. Like I said, it's for a bit of a laugh because, you know, I genuinely accept that it's par for the course, but I just want you guys to see that I can brush it off, and you guys have got to be able to do the same too. And obviously this is almost like a bonus at Christmas time for these guys. You know, they don't get a pay rise, they just get the chance to be able to slag me off and and put it down to something else. So guys, Steve, fire away. What is the worst thing you have found written about me lately?
Matt Haycox, train wreck.
That's weak, that's soft.
It's nice and concise. No, I mean, you posted on Instagram, I think you publicised a really negative email towards you, and you were called a joke. You were called "you fucking proc." Which is one of my favourite. It's not a term I'd heard before, actually.
And you know what? And this is something as well that I always find quite amusing, that some of the people who write the worst things can actually never spell it. I mean, yeah, and they normally try and get super grumpy about it by putting in capital letters what they want to say. I mean, a guy the other day wanted to tell me that I was like a complete wanker, and he put it in capital complete, but I've never seen complete spelled like that in my life. And for me, this is also something else that makes it so easy to kind of laugh at and brush off that, you know, that the people writing this are so daft, for want of a better word, that they literally can't even spell the insults that they want to say to me.
Because obviously on the Katie Price interview, that attracted a lot of comments, both mostly towards Katie, but also towards yourself. So we've got one, just an example here. Matt, you have such a stutter. It's like you're nervous interviewing Katie, completely bottled it, and she dominated the interview. So, I mean, what are your feelings when you see something like that?
You know what, I'd say probably two things, because looking back at that Katie Price interview, I do accept that I didn't really have control of the interview. I didn't really. I had absolutely no fucking control of it whatsoever.
It was partly down to the interviewee as well.
Well, it was completely down to the interviewee, I think, insofar as it was the first time I'd had a guest of that stature, you know, size, you know, public profile or whatever on the podcast, and I guess since then, I've obviously got to know Katie, and I know if I was to interview her a second time round, I would have the confidence or the ability or whatever it was to I say to control her. I don't know if anyone can ever control Katie Price, but I would have a much better stab at trying to run the interview. Whereas back then, I guess I was a lot more nervous that, I need to get a full conversation out of this. I don't want to tell her what to do. I don't want to push her around too much. So I guess people's comments to say that I didn't have control of the interview were pretty founded. But I guess I then also just take the view that, listen, if you've actually watched the whole interview, then happy days. You've given me another 45 minutes of view time on YouTube, and you've taken the time to sit down there and comment and give some engagement to the videos and help push me up the rankings. So I can't really moan too much.
Because obviously I've had a brilliant afternoon because I've been looking for negative comments on you, but genuinely I couldn't find all that many. But of course, with Katie Price, I found a lot. We all did. So I thought it might be quite fun for us to read some of those out. Maybe fun's not the right word, but quite instructive.
I think the thing as well,
some of those out.
The reason we say, we've had a lot of hateful comments on the Katie Price video, we've had a lot of hateful comments on the Lauren Goodyear video, really ties in with what we say about the more exposure you get, the more you're going to have to accept the negativity, because those two videos particularly are my most trafficked videos. So I guess it goes without saying that from a pro rate perspective, those videos are going to have the worst comments on. And I guess it's probably coupled with the fact that Katie and Lauren, as public figures, are also people who do attract a lot of negativity and a lot of comments in general. So when you put Katie Price with a stuttering train wreck like myself, then fireworks are going to go off.
Yeah, it's perfect for the trolls, isn't it? So shall we read it?
Go on.
Read a couple. So this is obviously the Katie Price video. It's cringeworthy how she always thinks every interviewer fancies her and wants to have sex with her. She was once very attractive.
Maybe I did.
That's a fair comment. She was once very attractive, but comes across as desperate now. The game is over, love.
Come on, Izzy.
So the next one could be she's absolutely fried from the drugs. Her old management is the only reason she ever became successful. Her ego blew up and she thought she could go it alone. She was spoiled with zero business sense, hence her spectacular downfall. Imagine blowing all the money on hair, nails, vacations and drugs. Embarrassing.
Imagine blowing all your money on hair, nails and drugs. I think plenty of people watching and listening, I'd love to do that. But what was I going to say? But what I also obviously find amusing or interesting is that for every person that says something particularly negative, there'll always be 20 people who say the exact opposite in positive, insofar as, you get people watch that Katie Price interview and go, Katie was a complete train wreck, then you'll get plenty of other people who go, Katie's a fantastic character and a credit to Harvey and this, that and the other. So, if you are the person on the receiving end of those comments, I guess you've got to look at them with balance, really, haven't you? But I genuinely, I do obviously see most of my comments, but I genuinely have got to the stage now where I watch back very little of my own videos. Just simply from a time perspective. We create so much content now that I just haven't got the time to. I know when I started, I kind of always said, well, if I don't have if I don't put the effort in to watch the stuff and critique it myself, why should the audience have time? But we've just got to a stage now where we're just creating far too much stuff. So I guess I know what I've done or what I've said in the main when I've created it. So you guys second look and box things off for me. So I guess I really don't get to see as many of these comments as I probably did in the beginning. So when I do get to sit down and listen to them, it's always quite amusing. And I guess and what I always find amusing as well is when I do see them, I post some of the worst ones, and the first person to always send me a smiley emoji about them's Harley. So
I think picking up on that, the positivity. Callum's an inherently very positive human being with a sunny outlook on life. So I think it'd be quite appropriate.
Come on, say something horrible and negative, Callum. What have you got for me?
Yeah.
No, I did see one the other day that literally the first line was, fuck you, fucking Matt Haycox.
That was me. Most of your comments is just me going home.
Yeah, it came from a matthaycox.com email account with an IP in this office.
Can I read a positive one?
Yes.
Go on, do something positive.
Yeah.
Loving your interviews. Great content and very inspirational for a lot of entrepreneurs out there. Smiley face.
Cool.
Yeah, we've got quite a few of those. Matt, I really appreciate this interview. I love the way you've concentrated 100% on Katie, unlike so many interviewers who continually interrupt and make it all about them. And, I think the fact that you have the time to speak to the people you're interviewing as well, because a lot of the public image is based on a very quick soundbite or maybe a throwaway tweet, where you actually spend sort of 40, 45 minutes, almost, I think it was an hour maybe with Katie.
I could have spent longer.
You could, and potentially maybe you did, I don't know.
Don't I know?
But so there are bound to be little mistakes and little errors in a 45-minute hour interview.
You know what, and I think as well as it's finding your personal style and what you're happy with and everything else as well. And I think when it comes to super polished things nowadays, I think it's not, for me, it's not really where the market's at. We're in a world of much more quick consumption, showing things on social media, streaming platforms and all those kind of things. For me, gone are the days of having hours of pre-production, hours of post-production. And I think as long as we get a 90% perfect thing done, I'd rather get 10 pieces of content out in a week that are 90% perfect than the one thing that's absolutely perfect. But I think look, I've got my style, I've got my mission, if you like, which is to get down and talk to as many entrepreneurs, inspiring leaders, celebrities, etc., where we think they've got something useful, insightful, that they can teach my audience, teach me, and that's what I want to do. And you know what? That's not going to be for everybody. And if it isn't, fuck them. I other people who create content isn't for me. But I just don't watch it. I obviously don't watch it and then write to them about how shit how shit their content is. And I think, like I say, the reason I wanted to do this was obviously a bit of fun. But I just thought really important for the guys at home to see that if you can take it tongue in cheek, it really is the best way to do it, because you're not going to be able to not do it. I mean, we can't. I guess when we make bad business decisions, we can look at them afterwards and say, what would we have done differently so we didn't get that? But I don't believe that we can go back and look at content that we've created and say, what would we have done differently to stop getting those negative comments? Because the negative comments aren't really about the quality of the stuff we're creating. It's just fucking garbage written from people sat at home with nothing better to do.
Because you've been really critical about that. You've even called out a couple and used them as examples on some of your channels. The guy who called you you fucking proc. Basically, just illiterate nonsense, and you use that as an example.
I show it, because for me it ticks a few boxes. One, it's a bit of humorous content for me to show to people, but I guess I just want to show people what I say suffer. I don't feel I suffer it, but show people what I have to see, so that they know that it. When they get something negative about them, it really isn't something for them to be concerned or worried about. But you just have to accept that if you're going to start creating content, and I say content because it's not just about the videos. Maybe it's more prevalent on videos, but you'll still get, I'm sure, authors who write books still get people writing crap about that, or people who do tweets, etc. So that was it really. I thought we'd just take 15 minutes out for a quick podcast to let you guys say some horrible things to me. So guys, I hope you enjoyed meeting the team, and we're going to have to get them involved in some of these things more and more. We get Callum behind the camera. He can like jump backwards and forwards. But I hope you found that as useful as it was humorous. And please take it from me, don't let any of this shit stop you creating the kind of stuff that you want to go out there and create, because I did probably hold off at least 12, if not 18 months longer than I should have done. I had some of my team pushing me to make videos, pushing me to make content, and I found every possible excuse why not to do it. And then when I did do it, the hate didn't really come. And now I do get the hate and the negativity. I actually look at it thinking, fuck, I need some more, because the fact I'm only getting this much means that not enough people are seeing my stuff yet. So take the negative as a positive, take a bit of humour in what we've done today, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.